Disneyland may highlight some spooky Disney villains and haunts during the Halloween season, but it also has some spooky ghost stories of its own.
Ghostly greetings, Mouseketeers! Welcome to the Disneyland beat where our bones quiver to a Disneyland shriek.
And we always whistle past the graveyard.
Happy spooky Halloween, everybody! Today, we are going to tell you 4 deliciously haunted tales from within the park, gathered by cast members, guests, and park legend and myth.
You know, all the real work at the park happens late at night, as the divers enter the dark, cold waters, and cast members walk the hundreds of empty, shadowed rooms and imposing attractions. It must be pretty easy to let your fear take over late at night when alone at the park. And we have heard some scary tales that are sure to make your hair stand on end and give you goose pimples.
But remember, these fantastic urban legends are really just some good Halloween ghost story fun, so don't get too scared.
Now let's have a spooky graveyard smash of a time. Like, subscribe, and stick around.
There are so many scary stories surrounding the Haunted Mansion. According to Disney legend, when the mansion was being built, a worker designing the audio system for the ride kept hearing music from the seance room where Madame Leota read her incantations, beckoning the spirits to enter our realm. He kept hearing music coming from behind a wall. He thought it was a radio, but there was never any talking or commercials, just music. He kept hearing the music for days. Finally, unable to determine the source, he just decided to put a speaker near the spot where the music was coming from to mask it. In fact, the seance room seems to be a particularly powerful spot. Many have long suspected that Madame Leota's spellbook might in fact be genuine. Rumor has it when cast members arrive to open the attraction, they find the book in different positions and open to different pages than it was the previous night.
A cast member, Jacqueline S., swears the following story is true. At the end of her shift, Jacqueline met with her mother and wanted to take her on the last ride of the night at the Haunted Mansion. How thrilling to be completely alone on the ride. Midnight struck, and they watched the last guests board their doom buggies, and the attendants allowed them some space before boarding for their solo after-hours ride. They had done it, they were alone, or so they thought. As they rounded Madame Leota's room, they were shocked and disappointed to look across and see people across from them. Men, women, and children filled the doom buggies behind them. They figured the cast members must have opened up the gates to let one more large group on. Oh well. But when they got to the end of the ride and got out, they were surprised to see that there were no cast members present. Jacqueline and her mom were not sure why, but they decided to linger in the mausoleum before ascending to the world of the living. And they waited, but nothing but empty doom buggies came from the graveyard. No people at all.
Mr. Oneway is one of the spookiest ghostly residents of Disneyland. Mr. Oneway mischievously haunts Space Mountain and likes nothing more than to take a picture with you. He looks for guests who are riding the 2-seater coaster through the dark space, all by themselves, and he takes a seat beside or behind them. He loves to take a picture with you, creating a blurry spot when you go to claim your photo. And some guests have even had their hair pulled from behind when nobody was seated in the rows.
Pulling hair is a common method spirits have used over the years to try and make contact with humans. Cast members say that in the Space Mountain building, they often hear odd noises and doors are always shutting themselves. Have you ever had that feeling when you're riding Space Mountain by yourself? You get past the lift hills and into your third turn, and the yelling starts to subside, and things start to feel quiet and cold. Do you start to feel like somebody is sitting next to you? It might be Mr. Oneway.
Late at night, long after the crowds have gone, when cast members are clearing areas of the park and attractions, they have heard the sounds of children laughing and playing. Many times it has seemed and sounded so real They've gone to search with flashlights to make sure no one is in the park, no stowaways hiding away. But they never find anyone, just the sounds of kids having fun. Oftentimes, the kids can be heard running around Station 3 at Autopia. Some operators have even felt a small tug low on their uniform when no one else is around late at night, and then heard children playing amongst the trees, only to find nothing upon inspection.
There is a story amongst those in the know that before Disneyland was built, the caretaker of the orange orchard had a house right about where Autopia is today. Due to a tragic accident, his home burned to the ground with his children inside. Perhaps it is their laughter that can be heard on those spooky evenings. Over at Main Street, USA, and also around Sleeping Beauty's castle, the apparition of a lady in white has often been spotted. She is said to be quite beautiful and dignified in pristine turn-of-the-century clothing. Apparently, she is very kind and manifests herself to children who have gotten lost at Disneyland, guiding them back to the Children's Center.
In his lifetime, Walt Disney loved Disneyland and was immensely proud of his magical kingdom, so it makes sense that his ghost might want to keep an eye on the place. One of his favorite attractions at the park was the Disneyland Railroad, and Walt was a lifelong rail enthusiast. A young cast member was working one of his first shifts at the command center for the railroad recently, which has a control board and has a visual readout of where the trains are on the track. He completed his night's training and was left to study some of the controls on his own, and that's when he saw it. The board showed that in the far corner of the park, one of the engines was running on the track.
He ran to get a lead engineer, and when they returned to look at the board, the ghost train was gone. The young cast member said, "I swear it was there, I'm not making it up." And his boss looked at him and said, "It's all right, we believe you. That's Walts Train. Some nights you can even hear the whistle blow, but when you go see for yourself, there's nothing there." You see, Walt is still here, his boss continued. The security supervisor keeps smelling cigarette smoke in Walt's old secret hiding spot behind his apartment, but he can never find a smoker or even see smoke. Guests see Walt all the time on the drawbridge of the castle, in the window of his firehouse apartment, and leaning on a lamppost near the Opera House. When Walt is spotted, he's almost always seen smiling.
We hope you enjoyed these fun, fantastic tales from the Disneyland Beat, and we wish you a happy Halloween.
Eat, drink, and be scary.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.
See you real soon.